I didn't expect at my 60 to have tears in my eyes, but that was a very emotional moment for me. Thank you. Thank you, President Herzog and Sarah. I'm honored. Good evening and shalom, everyone. I would like to start by thanking Stan Polovitz, the chairman and co-founder of the Genesis Prize Foundation, his team, and all Genesis Prize voters for this incredible, humbling honor. And of course, I want to acknowledge Isaac Herzog, President of the State of Israel, and Ambassador Dermer, who are here with us tonight, as well as Prime Minister Bennett and Head of the Opposition Netanyahu for their leadership and partnership throughout the pandemic. True to its history of innovation, compassion, and being a beacon of hope for the world, Israel continues to be one of the leaders in the battle against COVID-19. And this is thanks to your efforts and your conviction. Lastly, I want to acknowledge two fellow Genesis laureates who are with us this evening. Robert Kraft, one of the world's great philanthropists, and a champion for justice, tolerance, and inclusiveness. And of course, Natan Sharansky, the legendary advocate for freedom, democracy, and human rights. Gentlemen, it is a true honor to be mentioned in the same breath as both of you. Congratulations, and thank you for being here with us tonight. It's a great honor for me. This has been one of the most inspirational and moving weeks of my life. It began with a visit here in Israel with Pfizer's talented and purpose-driven Israeli colleagues in Tel Aviv. Several of them are here with us tonight. And I'm grateful both for their important work they are doing for patients and for coming to celebrate with us this evening. I also had the opportunity to tour both Jerusalem and Tel Aviv and to visit Yad Vashem, which was an incredibly moving and personal experience. And tomorrow evening, I will have the honor of addressing the graduating class of the Technion Institute. This trip has evoked wonderful memories of my first visit to Israel 45 years ago. I spent nearly 2 months here when I was 15 years old, and I was amazed by the Israeli people's sense of pride and welcoming nature. It was palpable, it was energizing, and it was uplifting. And it was clear to me, even as a teenager, that Israel was committed to being a safe harbor for Jews from around the world. "45 years later, the skyline has grown and now ranks among the world's most impressive. The country's agriculture, technology, medical, and educational systems are regarded among the world's best. And the same uniquely Israeli spirit lives on. Those who know me, though, know that in addition to being very proud of my Jewish heritage, I'm equally proud of being Greek, and that I love to quote Greek philosophers. When I think of both Israel and of my Jewish upbringing, there are two quotes that come to mind. The first is from Democritus, a Greek philosopher very famous, who said, "The greatest pleasures come from the contemplation of noble work." This notion, perhaps more than any, explains why Israelis are such a joyful people. Israel and its people have a long history of humanitarian work and a deep and enduring commitment to democracy, to justice, and to equity. We have been reminded of this again during the pandemic as you have worked tirelessly, not only to immunize your citizens, but also to collect real-world data regarding the vaccine safety and efficacy that benefited people all around the world. My colleagues and I will be forever grateful for this partnership between the State of Israel and my company. At Pfizer, we strive to be an agent of good for the world as well. In addition to developing and manufacturing breakthrough medicines and vaccines for patients, we are increasingly taking actions to help others in need. Last September, for example, we committed to hiring at least 100 refugees by the end of this year, and to mentoring at least other 150. Today, I'm proud to say that we are making great progress to these goals, having already hired 50 people and begun mentoring 70 more. We also have expanded our efforts from the US to Pfizer offices in Greece, Germany, Belgium, and Italy, seeking to reach refugees from Ukraine, Afghanistan, and other parts of the world. But that brings me to the second quote I wanted to use. And this is from perhaps my favorite Greek philosopher, my mother, Sarah Bourla, who always said to us, "Nothing is impossible." I can still vividly remember her wagging her finger and telling me, "Don't you tell me you can't do it. Just go and do it." When I was nervous, actually about running for class president as a young student. You see, I was the only Jewish in the school for the first 5 years until my cousin came to the school. And I was concerned that I might not be elected because of that. Thankfully, I followed my mother's advice, and eventually I won. My mother's courage and optimism came from her experience of narrowly escaping death and the hands of the Nazis. In fact, both of my parents turned their experience surviving the Holocaust into something positive and life-affirming. This clearly helped shape my worldview and ignited my desire to pursue a purpose-driven career that would benefit others. This belief that nothing is impossible is also driving Pfizer's work across all therapeutic areas as we work to defeat some of the world's deadliest and most devastating diseases. I couldn't be prouder of my colleagues' enduring commitment to taking on such daunting challenges and achieving new breakthroughs. For you. As previously announced, Genesis will be donating my $1 million prize to help build the Holocaust Museum of Greece in my beloved hometown of Thessaloniki. In that spirit, I'm thrilled to say that there are two extraordinary people in the audience who have dedicated more than 6 decades to preserving the memories of those murdered in the Holocaust. Serge and Beata Klansford. Beata is a German-born daughter of non-Jewish parents, whose father fought in the German army. Serge is a Romanian-born son of Jewish parents, whose father was captured by the French Vichy police and killed in Auschwitz. Together, they chronicle the lives of 75,000 French Jews killed by the Nazis, 100 German Nazis and French Vichy officials responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Jews, and were instrumental in having German law changed to allow the extradition of Nazis and the French government officially recognizing responsibility for the crimes of the Vichy government. Inspired by their lifelong dedication to preserving the memories of French Holocaust victims, I am honored to announce that the Genesis Prize Foundations and myself are making a donation to support the important work of the sons and daughters of Jewish deportees from France, a foundation established by the Klasfelds more than 40 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing and thanking Serge and Beata. Let me close now by thanking two groups of people who mean the world to me. First, I want to thank my Pfizer colleagues who are with me this evening. As well as those here in Israel and around the world. Their unwavering and enthusiastic commitment to Pfizer's values, courage, excellence, equity, and joy is what allows us to deliver breakthroughs that change patients' lives. And I want to thank my family. My lovely wife, Miriam, who is here with us this evening. And my amazing children, Moise and Celise, who of course are not with us tonight. You're my rock, you're my inspiration, you're my safe harbor, and my constant source of joy. I love you. Thank you again for this incredible honor. It is truly one of the greatest moments of my life. Thank you.